Hello guys, welcome back. As you can see, we're not in the workshop today, we're out in the countryside. We're here in my car. I've just sold it, and the unwritten rule is to get it as clean as possible before it goes to the new owner. So I thought it was a great opportunity to take a little video for you guys. So let's get this thing scrubbed up. So this is my 2001 Audi S6 Avant. It's a 4.2 litre V8 petrol engine, and it's got the 5-speed Tiptronic gearbox with the Audi Quattro 4-wheel drive system. I've had it as my family car for the last 4 and a bit years, and it's been absolutely fantastic. Let's pull over up here. I'll give you a little tour around the outside. So the first obvious thing that sets this aside from a regular family car is that 4.2 V8 petrol engine. Not something usually associated with family cars. It's performance, it's more economy, miles per gallon, servicing costs, that kind of thing. But for me, miles per miles is much more important, and this thing excels at that. So when I first got the car, I wasn't that impressed by the performance. It was fast, but it just didn't feel racy. I was driving it around like I assumed a American V8, you know, just a donk donk donk, 3,000-4,000 revs, using the torque. It wasn't until I looked at the Audi data sheet and saw it makes its peak power 335 horsepower at 7,000 RPM that I started taking it a bit further. And as soon as you drop it down a few gears, open it up, it absolutely flies. After a couple of years of having the 335 horsepower and 420 newton meters of torque, it just felt average. You got used to it, it didn't feel exciting anymore. So I planned some mods. I had some 2.5 inch decats made up to match the RS6 exhaust system that I had on it already. So now it's 2.5 stainless all the way from the downpipes back. Gives that noise. Sounds amazing. I complemented that with a remap, which took it up to somewhere about between 360 to 370, and it just gave it a huge lease of life. The great thing about living out here is there's lots of private runways which get used for test and tune days, so I can show you what this thing used to be able to do on the Autobahn. Let's pull in, we'll do some 0 to 60 tests. 18-year-old car, this S6 in particular is incredibly well spec'd, even by today's standards, and that's thanks to its first owners being Battersea Audi, a Dovercourt main dealership on Lombard Road in southwest London, and they registered the car in November 2001, and this was their demonstrator vehicle. As you can see inside, this is a very nice place to be. By today's standards, maybe some things just seem normal, but for 2001, this was a very well spec'd car. It's got parking sensors on the front and the rear, xenon headlights, heated electric seats, dual climate air conditioning. It's got blinds that come out of the rear door cards. It is absolutely covered in carbon fibre. You've got a beam all around the outside, even the rear door cards, coming down the centre console, even around the handbrake. It's all carbon fibre. We've got Alcantara up the pillars, the roof lining, all the way even to the boot. Everything matches, even the sun visors, Alcantara. And it's got 5 cup holders. It's got the standard normal one in the front. It's got 2 that come out of the rear seats. And it's got 2 more in the boot. Because this is actually a 7-seater S6. I haven't had the clip-in seats, and I haven't seen leather ones before, but they must exist because this has got all the mounting points and the rear seat belts in the boot and the cup holders, which makes a total of 5. This really was a no expense spared car back in the day. The previous owner also upgraded the head unit to the later RNSE. He fitted all the correct modules and coded it in so all the sat nav works with the C5 clocks. Another nice thing for convenience is it's got the Bluetooth telephone. The wheels often get mistaken for B7 RS4 wheels, but they're actually the 20-inch versions of the S5. I bought them brand new after the replicas that were fitted got destroyed in a pothole. I've always kept them wrapped in Michelin rubber, and they serve me very well. It's also got big brake conversion all round. The fronts were already on it when I got the vehicle. They're Porsche Cayenne Turbo 18Z calipers and Mercedes ML500 front discs. They're 350mm and they fill the 20s nicely. The problem with that, the stock S6 discs are lost behind the 20-inch wheels. So I planned a little big brake upgrade there. They're actually Audi A8 W12 335mm discs, which are the same thickness as my standard S6 discs. So I was able to retain the standard caliper, keep the standard handbrake, and just space the calipers out to match. And as you can see, they feel the wheels much better. It did have coilovers fitted when I got the vehicle, but after a while they were very worn out. I think they were second hand when they went on the car to start with. So I had a look around and I saw some EVAC coilovers from Germany and had them sent over. They're the correct axle weights front and rear, so it gives it a very balanced, comfortable ride. Because of the wide body and the big arches, you don't realise how low it is as the wheels sit so perfectly in there. It's not until you jack it up that you realise how much travel there actually is. I've been so impressed at how balanced the car is. You go around corners, there's hardly any body roll. You'd never imagine you're flying around in a nearly 2-ton car. About 2 years ago we gave it a full respray. It had a hard life, it had done about 110,000 miles and it was just looking worn. So we got it in an auto shack and gave it a full respray, which brought it up to the condition you see now. got no regrets of going for miles per miles over miles per gallon, but there's no getting away from the fact with a V8 family car you spend a lot of time here. Now what we were talking about, miles per miles and miles per gallon. Miles per gallon is a big fat fail. It averages about 11 to the gallon. Since the remap it is a bit better. I get maybe 13, 14, but even on a run all I can get is 18, high teens. So what I did when I first bought the car is I fitted an LPG system. I've done now 35,000 on the LPG and it's been faultless. It's an LPG tech system. So I fitted the kit and made sure I was able to hide it underneath the engine covers, which was quite important to me because I didn't want all the pipes and everything looking messy under there. So that's half the running cost, which makes it a little more bearable to use it as a family car. So this was my Audi S6. By the time this video goes out it'll be with its new owner and he'll be enjoying all the V8 goodness. But the problem I'm stuck with is what to get next. This is a very hard act to follow. It's been a great car over the last 4 years. I've enjoyed almost every second of it. I've created quite an in-depth diary of every single modification, disaster, servicing that I've done of it. So I'll put a link in the description if you want to have a read through it and see what it's taken on this journey to create the car you see now. And let me know what you think. But the good news is, whatever I do decide to get, it's a great excuse to make another video. So subscribe and watch this space. But until then, have fun.